Any discussion? All those in favor? I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. Do we have any board and committee reports? Hearing none. Is there a public hearing? No. New business. Our town administrator.
We had an opportunity to go through the budget proposal last week in a little bit of detail, and tonight we need to execute the warrants so that they can be posted. So I thought we'd take a few minutes just to go through the two individual warrants. We can start with the special town meeting, the other one. That's kind of completing the business of fiscal year 2017.
Do you want a motion on each article tonight?
However you,
Is it clean up? Yeah.
you could take, if you want to go through them all, and you can vote to adopt the warrant as executed, you can go article by article. I do like to record your votes on each individual
Let's go,
article.
we're gonna
for
make a
the
motion
booklet.
on each article. We've done it before. It'll be easy. All right. Special town meeting?
Okay, so the special town meeting, the first article is the Board of Fire Engineers have put together a proposal for washers and dryers to equip both of the stations. And the proposal is for $34,484. They are not your typical washer and dryer that you have in your home. They're extractors. And Doug Packer, I think, was the one that did most of the work on this one as far as understanding the cancer risks and such with the gear and why it's important that they do use these extractors to clean them. So that's what the first article is, and that proposal would be coming from free cash.
Article
Motion to
one.
approve Article 1.
Chuck, let me say article one motion first. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second, Chuck?
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Article 2 is an estimate. Right now, at the last town meeting, we got funding to do the engineering proposal to connect the Morgan Ave Fire Station to Newburyport Sewer. The engineers are doing their work now. That's a high-end figure that they had given me last year. As we get closer to town meeting, they may have a more refined figure, but we will not have gone out to bid at that point in time. So this is an estimate, a not to exceed estimate.
Article two motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Article 3, we have members of the Recreation Committee here with us this evening. I thought we'd take an opportunity to hear from them. They've been on the road with their proposal. They've been to numerous capital planning committee meetings. So if you would allow them to just give you a brief presentation on the details.
Mark, how are you?
Good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. Again, Mark Sand with the Recreation Committee. I'm presenting today for your support for this endeavor, and the endeavor is to complete the field house at Manford Field. Brief history for those of, I'm sure people have their history of it. The history I want to present to you is simply this. We have a building there that we've invested money in that we can't use. We've spent numerous dollars to have a beautiful shell, a nice septic system, but we can't use because we don't have a certificate of occupancy. In order to complete the building, to get the certificate of occupancy, we have looked at the original plans. We have made some changes to make sure that it is at the baseline of the certificate of occupancy requirements without any other additional frills. We took out the concession area for now. We have the bathrooms in there, and this would, once completed, we will be able to use the facility when I I say facility, not just the building, the whole grounds more effectively. Right now, during the summer, we really can't operate camps or anything of that nature that would produce additional revenue, but more importantly, provide opportunities for residents in town, because we don't have bathroom and, more importantly, hand washing facilities. There's a whole set of regulations required for camps, requiring bathrooms and hand washing facilities, etc. This facility would also allow us to, in case of inclement weather, allow the people to take safe shelter. So we have looked around, we've looked at different types of facilities, and this is what feels the best opportunity for the town. In your packet, you'll see the current picture of it, taken just yesterday. As I said, the goals are simply this: provide a safe structure to shelter patrons during inclement weather, provide clean bathroom facilities, and increase the appropriate use of property. The packet will have a floor outline. The original plan, if you look in the lower right-hand corner, concession, that's just going to be open space. And then on the third page is the projected additional uses and projected budget. The takeaway from the uses and budget is over the lifetime of the building, we're going to say 30 years. And it's a commercial building, it's even longer, but we're using that as our benchmark. There's not a lot of additional programming that we would need to secure in order to fund this, so that not only we will be covering our costs, operating costs, but bring additional revenue in, and in a short time, about 27 years I've calculated, we'd be able to offset the original investment of under $200,000.
Okay, Article 3 motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Is there discussion? Go ahead.
We've been picking away at this for a number of years, 100 here, a couple hundred there. I think this will be the last big leg, I hope. I'm sure something could come up, but I'm excited to see the end of this. I really am. Yes.
Recommendation of capital plan?
Yes.
Approved. JR?
I've watched it from all incarnations, from being built and wrapped in Tyvek and sitting a while, and then the exterior getting done and sitting a while, and I'm excited to button this building up and make it something we can use.
A number of volunteers have stepped forward, myself included, to frame it, side it, roof it. There's companies in town that volunteered their team to come in and just get it done. A lot of volunteer time has been put in, now it's just to the last stages.
Ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Article 4 is asking for a transfer, since we have appropriated the $280,000 at the last town meeting. No, it was $280,000 for the Main Street Bridge repair, and we've received grant funding of $260,000 from the Small Bridge Grant Program. I'm going to ask that we transfer that $260,000 into the Scotland Road repair account. We're going to need a substantial amount of money to get that road done, so this will be a great beginning. So that's what that is doing. That's asking for the transfer.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And that is Article 4.
Yes. Article 5 is, again, a transfer. This is the second year that we've run our ambulance enterprise account, and at the end, as we're approaching the end of this fiscal year, we're doing some projections. It became clear that we're going to need to transfer some of the money. Now, this is all within the same ambulance enterprise fund, but we're going to need to transfer $15,000 from the salaries and wages account into the expense account. We just had the Department of Public Health in recently, I don't know if it was this week or last week, inspecting our ambulances, and there were a number of issues that they identified. Nothing substantial. We got a very good review. But they're gonna have to make some changes and update some equipment, backboards and things like that. So we're gonna ask for that transfer from the salary and wages into the expenses account.
Article 5,
Motion to approve.
Second.
is there discussion, guys? All those in favor?
Aye.
Article 6 is, again, asking for a transfer from free cash into our public buildings utilities account. We purchased the property at Morgan Ave, fire station
Okay.
at Morgan Ave, so
Yeah.
we're paying all the utilities for that. This is gonna provide us with a basis for what we're gonna need next year, and you'll notice in the operating budget for next year, there is an increase in what we're asking for utilities. So this will cover this year, and then there'll be an increase for 2018 too.
Article 6,
Motion to approve.
Second.
discussion on Article 6? All those in favor?
Aye.
And last week, I was gonna make a report to you that we have money left over in the snow and ice account, and tonight I'm coming to ask for a transfer from free cash for $25,000 to cover our deficit.
Article 7,
Motion to approve.
Second.
is there any discussion?
Well, I'm just gonna say, Tracy, since you've taken over, that number has dwindled down and down and down.
Yeah.
I remember when we were looking at 127 one year, so I mean, great job.
Absolutely, thanks, Chuck. All those in favor?
Aye.
For the annual town meeting, Articles 1 and 2 are just, the standard articles. One is for the elective offices that are gonna be appearing on the ballot, and Article 2 is setting the wages for elected officials.
Article 1 and 2,
Yep.
motion?
I'm sorry.
Yep, that's fine. Make a motion.
1, 2, and 3. Article 2 is, Article 2 is the committee reports, and Article 3 is setting the
1, 2, 3.
salaries.
All right,
Article-
motion to approve, 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Article 4 is the line item budget. We went through most of the significant changes last week. No, a chance to review that in the booklets.
Article 5, Tracy, did you say? Or
Article 4 is the
Article
line
4?
item.
Yep, Article 4, take a look through these guys.
All right, ready for motion?
Yep.
Okay, motion to approve Article 4.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
That's the big one.
Article 5, we usually take up after our omnibus budget. The first article is always an appropriation to the stabilization fund. Usually it's around 100,000 this year. I should say it goes between 100 to 200,000. This year we're gonna be appropriating 250,000. The goal is that the stabilization fund would fund our capital asset replacements, our ongoing replacements. We haven't gotten there yet, obviously. We've got quite a ways to go, but each year making a commitment, and then eventually, maybe moving some of our free cash over into the stabilization fund. But we've just got so many capital asset purchases to make, in particular relative to fire department apparatus, that we're not quite there yet, so we're working on it.
Article 5, motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Article 6 is our other post-employment benefits. We put that on every year to make an appropriation. We're also going to be updating our actuarial analysis this year to see if our $5 million liability has changed. So this is, I like to have it on the warrant every year so people remember that liability is out there and are aware of it.
Motion to approve Article 6.
Article 6, motion, second.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Article 7 is the lease and utility payment for this building for next year, $162,000.
Article 7,
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
John O'Connell, who is chairing the stormwater management team, forward year to year. He's been doing, he and the committee have been doing a lot of the public education, the inventorying of all the catch basins, all that. Now we're starting to have to spend some money. So you'll see, we'll probably have an
Yeah, we
appropriation
did
each
5
year.
for 2 or 3 years, right?
We do 5,000 in the regular line
Right.
item budget, but we're
Yeah.
gonna start.
And he's
needing
done
to spend
God
some.
awful lot of work on
He's done
that.
a
He
tremendous
really
amount
has.
of work.
Motion
yes.
for Article 8.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Article 9 is, actually 9, 10, and 11 are our revolving funds. You see those every year. Not the 93,000 in Article 9 is our public education and government PEG money that we get from our Comcast contract that runs all of our cable programming. So that's for 93,000. The next one is the recreation revolving fund, which is 50,000. And the third one is the harbor master, the municipal waterways improvement and maintenance, which is 54,310.
Motion to approve Article 9, 10, and 11.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And Article 12 is the $6,500 to conduct the updated actuarial analysis for our other post-employment benefit.
Article 12,
Motion.
Second.
discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Article 13 is the appropriation of the ambulance enterprise fund. Same presentation we've had the last couple of years.
Article
Okay,
13,
yeah, Article 13, motion.
Second.
discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Articles 14 and 15 have been put on. Apparently, there have been some legislative changes to the way revolving funds operate. Ginny sent this to me today. This was just added and said to include it under the bylaw section. It hasn't passed yet. The legislation hasn't passed yet, but there's a potential that it could pass. If it does and we don't have it on here, then there could be an argument made that the way we appropriated our revolving funds in the previous articles, 9, 10, and 11, could be deemed not legal.
Goodness
So she
gracious.
said, take the belt and suspenders approach, put them both on, and hopefully by the time town meeting comes, we'll have resolution and we can move no action on one or the other.
Motion
So
to
they're
approve.
both doing the same thing.
Article 14,
Motion to approve.
Second.
discussion, Tracy, can you tell me again where the impetus for this, why is there a change, who's,
Governor Baker.
so, I mean, what, do you know when it comes out of Governor Baker's administration?
I don't know. It's just, there's been a lot of municipal relief legislation. They've been changing a lot of the laws relative to things like revolving funds to make things easier, to make processes flow more easily. This one, I'm not sure where it started from, but she said it's kind of at the point now where it's gonna go one way or the other, and she's not sure which way.
So
So
town council recommends this.
she recommended this language, and basically between now and then, hopefully it'll be resolved and we can remove one of them, take no action on one of them.
What was the major difference, do you know?
Honestly, I've been over it with the town accountant, and I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
Sorry.
see.
So there's no
Put you on the
clarity.
spot there. I'm sorry.
No, I don't know that the way it functions, I don't see a significant difference.
So it doesn't seem to have any glaring.
No.
Any discussion, JR?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We have 15 left. Motion to approve Article 15.
JR?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
And I don't know if you've all seen it, but I did receive today, from Fire Chief Walker, a notification. It's exciting news for him, he's taking another job. But we'll certainly miss him, and I know it was very heavy on him to make the decision. There's been a tremendous amount of progress made by the fire department over the last couple years under his leadership. So with the Board of Fire Engineers being reappointed, he has agreed, he does want to stay on as a member of the Board of Fire Engineers to help
Well, that's good
shepherd
news.
whoever
Yeah.
would become the next chief. So his last day is gonna be April 17th,
Yeah.
so you're aware of
It's
that.
gonna be sadly missed. I think we should put together a letter of thanks for all of the work that he's done to bring the fire department to this level.
Together,
So
yeah.
motion to, write a letter.
Second.
And I don't know if I can prove that or not, but I think it's a nice thing that you.
Yes, so,
I'm sad to see Chief Walker go. We're losing one of our young people. And I think he really proved himself in the time he was here.
well, he's staying on the department, and he's staying on the Board of Fire Engineers, so that's the good news. But as I said, he will be sadly missed in that chief's seat, so.
Can you talk about the process? Is it Board of Fire Engineers who will now pick the next chief?
That is correct.
And did he mention where he's going?
Yeah,
What's the name of?
he's going to Renaissance Golf Course.
Renaissance Golf Course.
The Board of Fire
As
Engineers,
superintendent.
Got it, thank you.
under our current form of management of the fire department, the Board of Fire Engineers would meet and elect a chief engineer among
That's their
them.
job.
But we did have that management study that talked about moving in the direction of a strong chief, and I'm sure they'll be studying that in the next, year or so as a recommendation, so.
All right,
That's where we're at.
anything else, Tracy?
No.
That's it.
Ellen,
Motion to adjourn.
you got everything that we need, right, too? Martha?
I've got one
I'm
thing.
gonna ask you that.
I forgot last week when I was talking about the housing production plan that,
Now, would you refresh me on what the housing, yeah,
NVPC received a grant to prepare a regional housing production plan, which will look at housing in the individual towns to help us with 40B applications in the future. We'll look at areas in town where we think housing would be appropriate, types of housing and all that kind of stuff. So Karen Kennard, who is the new executive director for MVPC, has offered to just do a brief presentation, kind of covering 40B and the housing production plan and what would come out of that. So I'm just passing that on to you all to see if you'd be interested. Ideally, we could set it up as a joint meeting with the planning board and CBA as well, and do it at your convenience.
now Merrimack Valley is the lead director of Merrimack Valley, did she come from a planning background anyway, I think?
She's got quite an extensive experience. She most recently, she was the planning director of community development down in Peabody.
No, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a major impact on our town. We should be well versed in it.
Yeah, no, I think that would be great. So maybe I could work with Ellen to find a time. We could either do it as a regular selectmen's meeting if you've got an agenda that's not too full, or we could try to schedule,
Once the
another
budget's
time.
passed, it should slow down a little.
Yeah, let's see.
Should, sorry.
When would you like to accomplish the meeting? Is it within the next week, 2 weeks, month?
No, I would say, yeah, maybe after town meeting.
Okay.
maybe
So
that
if
time.
that's the case, we'll try to focus for a meeting that didn't carry a lot of weight.
Right,
And that
right.
would be something else we do too, by streamlining some of the things that have to be done. Because that could take a long time.
Right, okay. So I'll just check her schedule and then coordinate with Ellen and see what we can
Ask
set
her how
up.
long the presentation would be.
Yeah, it wouldn't be very long, I mean, probably 15 minutes or so, I
Oh.
would think.
Okay,
But I'll check with her on that as well.
yeah. Perfect. So we've had public
Right,
hearings
thanks,
go
Martha.
on.
Thank you.
Nothing else going on in town?
Uh,
That's it? Enough for one day?
Enough for one day.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Motion, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion, all those in favor?